In reading the throne speech, I'm looking at the big issues it points to on the topic of health. You're looking for more federal government assistance there. On the opioid crisis, you're waiting for federal approvals. On decriminalization and safe supply. On housing, you're waiting till the fall to introduce legislation, and same with emergency management to deal with crises. What do you say to people who might look at this and think the document doesn't seem to lack urgency on the big issues?
Well, I'd have to disagree. Big issues require big solutions that require consultation, require fastidious work by content experts inside government and outside government, discussing how we manage emergencies. We've had a couple of classes in managing emergencies over the past number of years, and we've learned from that. And now we need to make sure that we can implement what we've learned in legislation. We said last fall that the Emergency Act would be amended next fall, which is coming up, and so we're right on track for that. There are a range of issues you mentioned with respect to the opioid crisis that need partnerships with the federal government. The criminal code is a federal responsibility. Making sure that we can implement our groundbreaking safe supply initiatives in a way that's coherent and meets the needs of communities, as well as the line that would be drawn by a federal government, requires collaboration. And I know that it's usually, and I, as a student of history and someone who's been around here for a long, long time, it's usually a safe bet that provinces will bash the federal government. And I don't see any percentage in that. I see collaborating with the federal government where we need to. We are a federation, a decentralized federation that depends on orders of government doing the right thing. And when it comes to the Canada Health Transfer, that's long overdue. And to have the support of all of the other premiers over the past number of years to work collaboratively to find a way to reimagine public health care is really important. Bringing the federal government along when it comes to the opioid crisis is really important. So I don't believe it's an abdication and a blame thing. It's about just reminding them that we have joint responsibility on some of these issues, and we're going to get better outcomes if we collaborate, which is, again, part and parcel, I believe, of the message of the throne speech. Collaborating with the opposition. You'll remember the first few years of our government was a collaboration with the Green Party and some collaboration with the official opposition. There's a new leader of the official opposition. I'm hopeful that he will bring a collaborative tone, but I'm also savvy enough to know that there'll be a couple of bricks coming my way, and I'm fine with that too. But at the end of the day, we're all here for the same reason, to improve outcomes for people, and that requires more humility and less hubris. So I'm going to let experts and people who are efficiently bringing information to the public do their job, and I'll back them up when I need it.
Lisa, do you have a follow-up?
Yes. So are you saying then that these are aspirational notions for you and not really promises to British Columbians that these things can be accomplished in this legislative sitting?
Well, this is the second aspirational question, and every day is an aspirational day for me, trying to make it better than it was the day before. So I'll concede that, but that's not a concession to no success or no progress. It means that in order for us to get to where we want to go, in order for us to get to the end of the road, we're going to need to do it with partners and allies and accomplices. And that includes communities, Indigenous peoples, young people, workers, investors, other orders of government. And so we need to address the healthcare crisis, which is, having seen it firsthand over the past number of months, incredibly compassionate and professional people that are just being strained beyond the breaking point. They need to know that there's help on the way. And my job is to make sure that the federal government fully understands that they can't continue to talk about a national healthcare strategy if 80% of it's being paid by individual provinces, some with greater capacity than others. We need a national plan. I'm confident that we'll get there. The Prime Minister has been very forthcoming in our conversations as recently as near Christmas. But of course, when he was here to assist putting together a national solution to the atmospheric river and the impacts in the Fraser Valley and in Merritt and through the Coquihalla, it was an opportunity for us to, again, hammer home this fact that all Canadians need a vibrant British Columbia. All British Columbians need a vibrant Canada. I suppose that's aspirational, but we need to be working on it every day with a view to outcomes. And our outcomes are making sure that we reestablish our highway system, making sure that our ports are working and functioning for all Canadians, and making sure that we can reduce wait times, hire more people, get more doctors and nurses, make sure we're caring for our elders in a humane and thoughtful and compassionate way. All of that is on the agenda of the federal government. The trick now will be to get the resources to deliver that in the hands of the people who do it, and that's provinces.
Okay, we will come back to the room for questions. Andrew McLeod, Tyee.
Hello, Premier. Good to see you. In the speech, it referred to healthcare funding, the healthcare funding model as being unsustainable. You're talking today about the stress the system's under. You used similar language last week. It's the kind of language that often gets used by people who want more private sector involvement in the system, who will propose two-tier solutions, that kind of thing. Are you worried at all about undermining the system by using language like that?
No, not at all. The system's undermined, Andrew, right now. It doesn't have sufficient resources to meet the expectations of the public. And those expectations are real. It's about knee and hip replacements. It's about diagnostics. It's about treatment for cancer. It's about a whole host of things that are being rationed because we don't have the resources. It's not about delivery of public or private. Every comment I've made, I'm confident that I've suggested that it's our public healthcare system that separates us from our other partners here in North America. And that is a right of citizenship, but we can't take it for granted. And the federal government has been taking it for granted to this point in time. 8-9% increases in costs cannot be sustained. You've seen many budgets here. The health budget is growing at a rate that we can't support just with tax revenues and other revenues here in British Columbia. The money that Ottawa would send, much of it was generated here. It's not, Ottawa doesn't have a special place that it gets resources. It gets it from Canadians, including British Columbians. And we have been willing partners in redistributing the wealth of British Columbia to other places, and one of those places being the federal government. And it's now their time, with their ability to manage resources far greater than individual provinces. And as I said, all provinces and territories have different abilities to meet their growing needs. But the challenges are the same from coast to coast to coast. So I'm not here to engage, nor will I engage in the months ahead, in a discussion about a debate between public and private. I am a creature of the public system. It was created when I was a kid. It has served me personally, my family, my neighbors, and all British Columbians and Canadians very, very well. So I'm not abandoning that. Quite the contrary. I want to reimagine it for the years ahead. And I have 12 other allies and premiers' offices across the country. And I believe we have a federal government that's coming around to the need to make those serious investments so that we can keep public health care on track.